it's Rose. Thank you so much for joining me today. Got a couple of things I would like to show you. Probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 ephemera pieces we're going to be making from the English Estate Collage bundle. It's about 50 pages, and majority of it is circles, not all of it, but many of them. And I kind of issued myself a challenge, and I'm issuing you a challenge. Circles are used a lot less often in our creative world, and I found so many of them that I just fell in love with that I wanted to explore them more. One of the first things I'm going to show you is a unique Nosegay paper clip. I love this paper clip, and I made a video a while back that said it'd be the only tutorial you would ever need, and then I realized it's essentially a similar, but it sits on the edge of the page like this and then can hold, I might like hold something else in place so that you can kind of create a unique collage. You can fill it with ephemera, it's on either side here, or you could fill it with floral pieces. And this one doesn't have anything stuffed in it, just the paper clip itself. And let's see, so it kind of already looks like a nosegay there, and then it has a little sentiment, but it too, it looks really nice if what you're doing is like you want to attach an envelope or anything that, you know, like a little bit bigger piece of ephemera here, like they're super sweet. This one here, you can add lace. There's so many bits in this kit for you to decorate, and so I hope you'll enjoy it. We'll make that today, and then probably it's almost self-explanatory, but I will show you how to do it. A lot of these will just make the corner pockets, and they're really cute layered up, and they're also nice, like if you put it in your junk journal, you know, it's nice here to just kind of tuck in a little bit of something there, but it's double-sided, so do that'll be a pretty quick one. And I love this particular kind of pocket, so this one I made into a spinner, and there's so many different ones that would be fun spinners, but you can just tuck it in here, and then you can use some of the different, for smaller ephemera, to tuck in there. So it's just a spinner pocket. And then I saw, I think it's My Porch Prints, not positive, they had a like a doily type of paper clip. I think had like, it's a half circle of something, I don't recall. I didn't see how they did it, but I got the idea of making this half circle into a paper clip this way from them. So we'll make this one too, which is just a little bit different than that one there. So and then we'll probably play with some of the other collage papers. Let me show you them. There's tons of bits in the collage kit, and I love this kit because this kit really could go with many different kits. The colors are fairly neutral, and the pieces, once you cut them out, especially the bits and bobs things, they'll go with so many different kits. So let's get to it. Hello. Okay, first we're gonna do some paper clips, and I'm using some of the circles from that kit. You could use any circle for real. no matter the size. You can get a plate and cut one out of your pattern paper. This will work for either one. I'm just happened to using one of the templates from the kit. And I have also some paper clips. They're varied sizes. I've got some that are the bigger ones. I think those are the 2-inch. And these are the 1-inch paper clips. They're in gold, but if you want to keep the paper clips hidden, I think the metal color is less important. I've also got some bits to decorate with. So let's get started. They're fairly easy, and you'll just cut a half circle. And then what you're going to do when you fold these over is you want to come past the fold line. And I'll show you what I mean. See how it's a little bit past the fold line? You'll want to do that and then match this other side the same way so that the edges match here. Okay. So that you have an image like this, okay? And then what you're going to do is ink your edges. So I've got my edges inked, okay? And then what we want to do is fold it in half and grab a paper clip. On the bigger ones, I like this bigger size, and what I'm going to do is just press this as close up to the top here on either side. Okay, and if you're not going to stuff your nosegay with some dried flowers and you're just going to kind of leave it as is and decorate it, you don't need to do this step, but I am going to do this step here of covering the paper clip with some craft paper to strengthen things. And I want to make sure here I may need to trim. Yeah, I'm gonna need to trim just a little bit. I don't want the craft paper to be visible. So I'm gonna scale it back a little bit. I'm just making sure that the paper clip itself is secure in there. And part of the reason that's important is that if you're going to stuff something down in there, then it won't catch. This kind of seals that up from catching. And like I said, if you're not going to put anything in there, doing this part doesn't matter because you'll seal it up on all edges. So the next thing that you're going to do is add glue, and where you add glue is on your edges. So it's way too much glue down at the bottom. The idea is to seal it up on the edge there, and then you've got 2 spots. Whoops, make sure we let it dry. So I'm going to do another one before we stuff it. I think it actually works well. So that's your nosegay, and then I think that they will look really nice without even anything in it, but if you were someone that wanted to, let's see what we can do here. You can stick some fresh, I like the way the lavender smells, but we may not get it to look how we want. I'm not sure, but I think you get the general idea. Okay. So there's plenty of fussy cuts in this particular kit, so that when we do some others, I'll show you what you can do with the top and do something to decorate the edges. But that's the basic shape and format of the paper clip. It's really simple. Let's see. You might glue these in or glue them down. I have a few dried pieces, depending on your style or the journal. I'm not sure, but I think probably, I'm not sure. They may not work, but so let me show you another one. These could definitely get, you know, for their decor. There's some cute sayings. Okay, so this one works the very same way also. Another way that you can do it, if you like, depending on how you feel about it, that's one way. If you feel confident and you would prefer your edges on the inside, that makes it easier to load, you can do it this way by starting your paper clip at the top and gently sliding it over the edge of where these come together. It's a little more challenging, depending on your confidence level, to get the paper clip in that way, so I showed the easy way first. But this also goes on just a little bit easier because the edges here are not going to make a lot of difference, but it is a personal preference. Okay, so I'm actually going to glue this one down at the top. Okay, those pockets are so super easy. I'm just gonna cut one of these out. You can use a circle punch to do that if you want, or cut out your own circle. Okay, so I also cut out a smaller circle, and then they come with this, which is completely optional. And I'm just going to actually punch a hole here. Okay. I also punched a hole in this one and inked these up. I'm going to use just a little bit of this wax on the edge. It's totally optional. I like the way it looks. It is luster wax from Sizzix. If you like adding, I just like to add little touches like that, and I inked the edges. Okay, so a couple things to note is that if you're going to create these finding a place that you might put them is kind of a good idea. So I've chosen here, and this is this is a personal decision here. I'm just going to put my brad, I'm using a brad, and I can put it through all three places if I wanted everything to turn. So I'm going to do that here too. So now that I have the brads going down through all three places, and that's all I'm going to do to actually secure this in some way. And I'm going to add a little tape right here. Actually putting the tape on there means, right, that this piece will stay. When I glue it, it won't turn, but these other pieces will, right? I'm going to add some glue around the outside to make this a pocket on the outside. I'm not adding glue everywhere, but about half. Let's see. I'm not happy with this glue. I might also at this point kind of continue the collage on the outside. You know, I could add another circle, you know, something that's a little interactive. Let's see, maybe like this. Let's do that. I'm also gonna maybe add something that goes in the center of that. Oh, this is a perfect time to show you some of these. Carol Tinson has a video on her site about making charms, and let me just show you that very quickly. What she's done is she's gotten some solid jump rings. These ones here that I've used right now, these are 11mm. These are small, but they're nice for just small accent pieces. And all you do is actually just place the jump ring in the location, you know, around the item you want. I think I could make these circles just a little bit smaller, but you do that, and then you use some, this is from the dollar store, it's base top coat nail polish, and you just, before I do that, let me cut some of these out so I can use one of these. Hold on. Oh, I've got some there. Okay, so place it where you want. I'm kind of allowing enough to kind of drop in to fill my circle, but I'm not expecting it to be completely filling my circle on its own. I'm going to take something like a pin, kind of pop any bubbles that I have and just move it around, and then you let it dry. The nail polish takes about an hour to dry, and on these ones here I've let it dry. I've done like 2 or 3 coats. These are not ones where it pops up. Let me show you, and is raised. You can kind of see these are, let's see, yeah, they're fairly, let's see if I can show you. There isn't much raised in there. I did purchase some stuff from Sizzix that came in. They're not, it's not dry yet. I tried glossy accents. I'm not loving how long it takes for it to dry, and I didn't want to buy resin, so I actually opted and felt like this was not a bad solution. So when you do something like that afterwards, let's see. I think I'm going to choose one that's like grass. I'm just cutting around it. You can sand around it also if you want. Adding that, and probably just going to slide that in there like that. I'm going to leave the possibility for a pocket, but not count that there'll be something that I can stuff into it. So we can actually take this quite literally and do something like stuff the pocket with ephemera, you know, like creating a, let's see, I need some bigger pieces. Something like that. So I've inked the edges of those tags, and I'm just going to add a tab from the kit. Both of these tags are in the collage kit. So everything you see here is in the Estate Collage Kit. Just going to add that to the top. I think. I'm noticing I don't want it to cover much up of the top. Actually, just changed my mind. I don't mind that, and I don't like how those look together. So you're free to change your mind anytime. So ink those up, and I'll do the same thing here with this. So it's kind of fun to play with, but there's one of the pockets. You could add stuff in here too if you wanted. I enjoy the border, so I'm going to leave that alone. And we'll move on to something else here. Okay, let's make one of those easy paper clips. All you do is fold 2 circles in half. I ink my edges. Choose an appropriate length paper clip. I'm actually going to have a little dangle pop out here, so I'm going to cut a little, just just a tiny little notch there. Got glue. Clip where I like it and just press them together. So this is now a paper clip that'll need a little charm or a dangle. I'm just using a jump ring to attach the charm. You could also just use a bulb pin if you like. You could attach some ribbon, lots of things you could put there, but we'll just show you here. This is not necessarily the full journal that would be the best example, but I do want you to see that these are super cute. So you can do it from the side or you could do it from the bottom and then just let it, I don't like the shape of that. Let's see. So it could work just on its own to create a little cluster of your own, you know, like a little envelopes. That's super cute. And attach it. And it doesn't have to be attached to the side. It just could sit in a pocket, on the edge of a pocket. But keep an eye out of how you're kind of arranging things, of the way they look when they're put together. Okay. So I've just added a little tag on the top and cute something else here to tuck behind it. So I'm gonna take the time. At any point, I also often go through afterwards and readjust things and create the basic form of it, which is kind of what I'm going to keep doing as I move on for you. So, okay, let's make a corner pocket here. So what you'll just do, I'm just going to use half of one of these. You could, well, I'll show you in a second. You could use this on the same page if you wanted, but I'm going to cut it in half. And then what I'm going to do, I'll make both of these corner pockets, is I'm going to score. And I'm giving myself about 1/8 of an inch of a little lip that I just made. This will get folded down. We'll do that on this one too. See how I folded those there, and then we're just going to also fold this in half. And so these could be layered up, right? So to build a bigger pocket if you want. Just fold it in half. And then what I'm going to do is, where I folded it, I'm actually going to cut this piece off. So I still have my lip, but I have only half, going along halfway. I'm also going to ink my edges now. keep in mind inking is always optional, and that you can create these without my kit. You can just do these with a half circle anytime you would like a little corner pocket. I'm going to treat mine a little bit like as if they were a photo corner. And I'm going to you can add glue here. You can also use tape, double-sided tape. And then you just make sure the edges match. Let it dry. So they just slide on like that. If you want, let's see, I think, oh, just, yeah, this needs to be trimmed some. I was going to put a writing spot in there, and I realized it's probably a little big. Okay, I'm not going to actually glue this one in because of the placement. It'll go in my journal that will have most of these pages in the almanac have one of these other pages on the other side of it, so it's not going to be at a page that I'm going to want to put that on. But you can see you add just an ever so tiny bit of glue right down into the corner, and then press a little bit in the corner to hold those down. But it holds a nice writing spot. You can see that. You could have this be a little flip out. That's what I've got here. This way. Okay, one last thing for you here. The password for Friday's freebie, the Secret Garden freebie, is nurture, and it's all capitals, NURTURE, nurture. I'm going to be using, this is like a 4x4. It's one of the freebies also. I'm going to cut out 2 of these little squares. So again, this idea is from Carol Tinson. One of our last videos made a little, I think it's an envelope, but hers are square. I'm going to do mine rectangular so that you can see how to do them with those two, using 2 different sized circles. I would check out her video. She'll give a more detailed explanation than me because I'm going to actually go through this fairly fast. The corners, the size that matches these edges is the one I'm going to use, and then these from, let's see, just show you. And the little smaller ones will go at the bottom. So I'm going to ink them, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to glue them together. Okay, this is the side that is going to open all the way. So I'm going to leave that flush with my paper here, and then I'm going to show you where I'll put the glue that goes. I'm not going to come past into here, but I'm going to add some glue here. And not really into that space there. Might be a little bit much. And I'll fold that over. And then I'm going to come to the next one here. That one goes here. And you can just decide how you want it to look on the outside. You might want it to look like that. I think for this one, I will do it like that. So I'm going to go ahead on that one also. Just glue in the corner. And then I'm going to add a little bit more glue here. Come over to this one. And I'm going to add just a little bit of glue here. Needs a little more ink. The glue here goes underneath the square, and then we have one for the top. I almost want one that kind of blends more into the background, so I'll use one of these instead. I'm going to create a belly band closure, so I've just cut a strip of paper, and now I'm just going to measure how much of a belly band I need. So your belly band could go horizontally or vertically, depending on your preference of what things look like. So I'm just going to cut just enough so that I have a strong base here. And glue it together. You don't want to put it too tight because it makes it hard to slide off and on. Probably add a little bit there. Probably use that one. I made this one. Same idea. Didn't stuff it yet. And this one is the one we made, and then this one. Probably will make one more so that I'll have one for each one of my signatures, but I actually haven't decided. I may just have 3 signatures. I haven't decided completely yet, so okay, let's make a belly band really quick. So you'll need 2 of these circles and 1, 2, 3 of the strip from the 4x4. That's what I'm using. It's double-sided. Ink the edges. I'm leaving this extra part so that I have just a little bit extra length. It's not going to be seen, so these just get inked up. Just gluing these to the back. So depending on the size, you can kind of get the idea too that you could put these on the edges of envelopes or any of your ephemera to kind of hold something in place to create like a stack of letters or something like that. So I'm going to just like that. Okay, so I'm just going to punch out 2 circles. You could use the little circles that are on the that are in the kit that are this size that make these little charm things. If you wanted, that'd be cute, and you could put it on the outside to do it. I'm going to actually hide mine here, and I'm going to use a little bit of string. Just going to cut the string, and I'm going to add these on this side. There's lots of creative ways that you could make to make this closure with the string, depending on the style of what your little belly band is. But for me, I'm going to have to do this because I actually really am trying to preserve what the front of the circle looks like. So I'm going to do mine on the back here like this. Okay, so I'm just going to add this now to my journal, and I'm only going to add glue here and here. This will hold a nice stack of letters or some ephemera. You can kind of layer it up underneath, maybe. I've got this. These field notes. Like that, and then also you can tie in whatever you're going to be tying in here. So just giving you a suggestion of what you might do. Adjust it. You could add a charm here or a cute little saying or something, but leave it like that. So there's a belly band, a double belly band.